So in this video, I'm going to be going through the first and second season of Severance and showing some spiritual symbolism, that's a lot of S's, in the episodes. There will be spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched until the end of season 2, definitely do that first. If you don't mind seeing spoilers, then please keep watching. So basically, I'm going to be showing you evidence of spiritual symbolism within this series. I believe that in one of the highest levels of creation are these color rays. You could say raw frequencies that create symbolism in our lower material plane. So think about this. Just because we live in a very dense plane doesn't mean it's not still a spiritual plane. Before continuing with this video, you will have to watch my video on blue ray symbols and this video on red ray symbols. Otherwise, what I'm going to show you won't make any sense. So if you haven't watched these videos, pause this and check those out first. So even before watching Severance, I could tell there was a lot of channeled symbolism, especially blue ray and red ray themes. First, we will look at the character of Helly R. In the very first episode, we see her in a blue dress and red hair. This red-haired woman in blue is a common figure seen in Blu-ray stories and movies. In the Blu-ray video, I mentioned that the blue woman is associated with water and mermaids, and specifically entering and exiting water. As a new hire at Lumen, Helly enters a sea of data, and one of the other employees even suggests that the data is going to help them colonize the sea eventually.
But what even are these numbers? Like, do we even know what we're supposedly cleaning?
My theory? The sea.
The sea.
We have seen from the Emoto experiments that water holds information, memory, and emotion. You can speak into water and it will store that information. Helly's job is to store data, and this could be a representation of her entering water. We also see Helly swimming in the final episode of season 2 with a water motif in the background as she exits the pool. Helly also has a controlling and restrictive father. This is another Blu-ray theme, where a woman in blue will want to be free, but is being held captive by a father figure. This is very much the case for Helly, as the whole reason why she has descended into this hellish, restrictive world of the severed floor is because of her father, Jane Egan.
Fetid moppet.
He has control over her.
Do you remember when I brought home the first chip to show you? The prototype. It had the blue and green lights back then.
Yeah.
I remember you said to me, "It's so pretty, Daddy. Everybody in the whole world should get one." They will. Because of you. I do not love my daughter. I used to see care in her, but he left her as she grew.
Sound like a great dad.
Wish I had others in the shadows. But he wasn't in them either.
This is just like how, for example, Ariel's father wants to keep her in the ocean and away from her true love who lives on land. Another Blu-ray theme is seen in the first image of the pilot episode, with Helly R asleep on a table. The blue woman is often associated with bed sheets, beds, and dreaming, so this first image of Helly asleep definitely reflects this. And finally, in the first episode of season 1, Helly's manager, Mr. Milchick, gives her a bouquet of white flowers as a gift for her first day at work. The white flower is another common Blu-ray symbol, pointing to the crown chakra and the marrying of the masculine and feminine energies into a single ray. This crown chakra symbol is also shown later in season 2 when Helly and Mark make love for the first time under a canopy of translucent sheets draped over a white table. Okay, now we will look at the character of Mark S., who is the red ray character to Helly's blue character. Mark is seen for the first time in the first episode wearing a striped tie and later a red sweater. The opening credits also show him in a red suit, and he is shown in red overwhelmingly throughout the first 2 seasons. Even his housecoat that he lends his friend is red stripes.
The robe is a gift from my brother-in-law. I've never worn it or anything. Sorry, it's weird.
And we know that the color red and stripes is a common red ray theme. At the very end of season 2, we see him covered in red blood, which is also reflective of this theme, though very gory. In the first episode, we also see Mark arriving to work and descending down through a stone hallway into the severed floor. You could consider the severed floor an underworld or a land of the dead, or land of the half-dead. And this idea of descending into an underworld of stone is a common theme shown in the Red Ray video. And just like how Helly is associated with water, Mark seems to be associated with fire and electricity, a theme we see in other Red Ray characters. In the more modern movies and shows, I find fire will be represented as electricity or light. So there are several references throughout the series of Mark having to change his light bulbs because they're burnt out. He also tries to burn a message into his eyes using a sort of work lamp. And when he confronts his innie for the first time, he does it in front of a burning fire. And then there's the theme of stepping up in sacrifice.
Hey, so you found my wayward trainee. Appreciate your help, sir, as always. Yeah, so if Helly tripped the code detectors, that one saw me, and I apologize for that, sir. Earnestly.
On you, then.
Spoilers ahead, by the
Let's
way,
go.
but near the end of season 2, it's Mark's innie who ends up having to give up his life so that his outie and his outie's wife, Gemma, can be together.
Well, what happens to us?
What do you mean?
Well, if Lumen ends, then what happens to every innie on the severed floor?
Yeah.
Oh. You want me to give my life?
No.
At first, he doesn't want to do it, but then accepts this mission.
At least you'll have a chance at living.
Yeah, but I want to live with you.
But I'm her, Mark. I'm her.
Okay.
In the Red Ray video, we mentioned that the red characters all had a guide in blue who guided them from the spirit world. Mark S.'s guide in blue is Petey, his best friend from the severed floor, who had to quit because he was going through a reintegration process where he was getting his memories back. Petey shows up to Mark S. for the first time in a blue tie, and for a few episodes, he tries to guide Mark from the outside world on how to navigate the severed floor.
Okay, who the fuck are you?
Petey. My name's Petey. I'm from work.
Well, that's not plausible. Everyone in my department is...
Severed. Severed. I was.
Okay, well, severance is pretty permanent.
Yeah. Bypassing the implant wasn't easy. I had help. They separate us from the other departments. We don't even know how many there are. But I've been reintegrated for 2 weeks now. I've been mapping out the floor. I hid the original for you when I left.
We can also look at how the names of the characters themselves were subconsciously chosen to reflect the red and blue themes. I also wanted to talk about ice and the spiritual significance of it. When we think about what ice and snow is, it's frozen water. It's information, memory, and emotions frozen, held in stasis in a certain place and time. Similar to how the memories of the main characters are suspended within a certain place and time, the lower floor of Lumen.
Who are you?
I find that the elements used in a movie or show are there for a reason and reflects higher spiritual energies at play. It could be that setting a story in a northern snowy town made sense intuitively for the show's creator. Maybe he didn't know why he chose that location, but he just knew he should. So what does all this symbolism mean? Is it showing that we are all accessing some sort of collective consciousness and have no idea we're doing it? Maybe this is a program. Maybe it's proof of the design of the game we're in. Or maybe it's a collective past life memory. What do you think? And that's it for this video. I'm going to have an extended blog post where I talk about the season 2 finale and some other extras. So if you are interested in that, I will link that below. And if you have any other ideas for videos I can make in the future or have any recommendations for shows I should watch, let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to hear what you guys think. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon.